Are we ready to go live? I
Are
think
we
so.
ready?
Are
No,
you
are we
ready?
live? I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're
I don't
on,
know if
man.
I'm ready for this, man. Where's Greco?
Well,
Where's
Greco's
Greco?
not invited. Hey guys, welcome to a new Geek Out Live. Someone who, if you watch my videos, you probably already know. It's Greg. It's the
Hey,
Narkster. It's
what's
the
up,
Toy
guys?
Narc. It's not another retro channel.
What's
Um,
going on? Dude,
yeah.
thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Well, it needed to be done
Yeah.
because I think everybody wants to know your story. Today,
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about your toy collecting journey. We're going to be talking about your YouTube journey and some toy reselling and stuff that's happening.
Okay.
But
Nice.
yeah, how are you doing today? What did you do this weekend?
I'm doing well. What did I do this weekend? I didn't do much, man. It was pretty laid back since our trip. It's been like, we were gone for 7 days. I mean, I was gone for 7 days, but it was kind of like getting back into the swing of things. And I think finally, like maybe 2 weeks ago, I finally found my stride. Took me a second. So I've been doing that this weekend, not so much. I was just chilling, man. Just chilling, editing some videos. I did do that. So I got 2 coming up this week, which is cool. But yeah. That's about it, man.
Like, what are you working on? Like, you're
What
working
am I
on
working on?
stuff for the road trip?
Yeah, so I have the Memphis. We get into the RV and we head to Memphis and we head up 3 toy shops there. And so that's going to be coming out either tomorrow or Tuesday. It might be Tuesday, but it's we get into the RV and we start hitting the road, man. So we got that coming up, and then on Thursday I started a new series called One Grill a Week, where
Which
I
is
go
crazy, right? Just
it,
the prospect of trying to find the grail and acquiring it.
it's pretty stressful. Like after I did the first one, I was like, what am I doing? And now I'm totally committed, so I kind of have to. So I got 11 more weeks, but I got one lined up for this week, which is going to be really cool. A really cool story behind the guy that I'm trading with. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming out on Thursday. And then I got one more in the works. And then I got to figure it out. I don't know. I'm just winging it, honestly.
How many beer Smurfs are you up to now? And is it
I'm up
considered a
to-
toy grail?
It could be. It could be to me. It's subjective, right? Like
It's
maybe
true, yeah.
maybe I wanted that all my life, and I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5, and then I have 2 on the way in the mail.
Yeah.
Because like people would reach out to me before maybe I found one, and I'm like, you know what, I want to actually find one. I appreciate it, guys, but I want to find the first one. And technically that didn't even happen because right when we were entering, we're in line at the Great Ohio Toy Show. Somebody, an awesome dude, came up and was like, got you a beer Smurf. I was like, oh. But immediately after that, I think, what was it, 10 minutes afterwards, I found that one. So
yeah. Well, Ryan, he's already enjoying the first video you put up.
Oh, awesome.
Found something Star Wars-esque, so go and check that out.
Last 17-ish.
Christopher, he's like, only one grail a week? That's just lazy. So
that's just lazy.
I don't know, man. Maybe you need to bring the Boston Tickler around.
The Boston.
Where's
the Boston? There's a Boston Tickler. There he is. There he is. It's like, where's the Tickler?
Oh man. Yeah. We couldn't go to the Chicago Toy Show this year. But yeah, you saw Justin. So I mean, he's just as awesome, or even more awesome than us. So yeah,
I love Justice. Freaking me, Dave, and Mike talked about it for like 2 seconds. Like, hey, let's get on a Spirit airline for like $25.
Yeah,
and go for just Saturday only, and just come back, like make it a day trip. But we didn't do it.
If I lived that close, I'd do it.
It's only like a 2-hour flight. We should have done it.
Maybe I should just come and live in Texas.
You should, dude. Everybody thinks you do anyway, so it's kind of like,
yeah. The time difference between us is 7 hours. Yeah.
7 hours for Greco, 8 hours for us, right?
8 hours for you? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. There we
Yes,
go.
sir.
Dang. Okay. Let's get on with the show because,
let's get it.
What I wanted to do this thing about is actually like people I meet in the toy collector community, just try to like really dig in and learn a lot more about them. So what I want to go into next is like when you were a kid, like what were the toy lines that you grew up with, or what was like your first toy that you remember having?
Yeah, so for sure. The first toy line that I remember getting, my mom taking me every Friday to the department store, I think it was Service Merchandise, and I would get a vintage Star Wars figure. I mean, it's vintage now, but a Star Wars figure every freaking Friday. I remember that was our thing. And then probably right in the same time period, 83, 84, like Masters of the Universe. Like that one Christmas, I got freaking Grayskull, and it blew my mind. Like my mom told me the stories, they went everywhere and they couldn't find one. It was like sold out. That whatever year that was, maybe 83, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so they finally found one, and they surprised me with it and just like knocked my socks off. So Masters of the Universe, and then I would say Real Ghostbusters and Turtles, of course. Like after that, I was all in. Remember Real Ghostbusters? I had Ecto-1. I had Slimer. I had Stay Puft. The Firehouse, of course, and then Turtles. When my was I don't know 7th birthday, I got a bunch of money and I was like, I just want Ninja Turtles. So we went to Toys R Us after my birthday party and loaded up. I'm pretty sure I got all of them in the first wave except for April, because I was like,
Okay.
I don't want April. I don't want to get out of here.
Nobody wants
it. And then my grandmother, she did a lot of yard sales. Like she would go to yard sales all the freaking time, and she would always bring me the most random and coolest toys. Like one of them in particular that I played with constantly was the Sectaurs, the Hive playset, which I am currently after now. And it's such a cool playset, man, because it's huge, it's massive, right? So I remember I had a G1 Transformer, and I had I had Dino Riders and like all mix of all these different action figure lines, and it totally worked for that playset. Then you had that freaking spider puppet,
Yeah.
It's awesome. I need to get it back.
I think that thing could just work with anything, honestly. It's the same way, like they made Sectaurs, they wanted to put in the boggling puppets first as like monsters, but like you're saying, like even if you would put your Joes up on the Hive, like scaling it and have like a monster come out, it would work perfectly.
And it came with those ladders, So I mean, I had so much fun with that playset. And then you had like, the cliff or whatever. I mean, there's so much room on there. You can put figures on there and like have a little battle on the cliff and stuff. Like that playset was great. Love it.
Were you like hopping from one like toy craze to another one, or was it just like whatever really piqued your interest? Were you like influenced by the cartoons you were seeing?
Oh, cartoons, 100%, dude. Cartoons, because when Turtles came out, obviously I wasn't 4 years old reading comics, so like when the cartoon came out, I was like, oh my gosh, it like blew my mind. I was like, and then I remember seeing the first Turtle commercial for the action figures. I was like, I need them. I need all of those. So like as a kid, I mean, that's probably TMNT was probably the biggest line, like the most figures I had of any line. Then there was probably Masters, and then probably Star Wars. So in that order, that was my jam. And then eventually, like I got some of the early '90s. I got some Toxic Crusaders. Bucky O'Hare, some Captain Planet. I remember having Mad Balls too. That was cool. And that's one of those things that my grandmother would find at garage sales. And like, if I'm at a store, I'm not buying it as a kid because I didn't care. But she would be like, here's these sick little things. I'm like, oh, awesome. So yeah, definitely influenced by the cartoons.
How was it like acquiring toys as a kid for you? Because you didn't grow up in Texas, you grew up somewhere else, right?
Yeah, so I was born in West Memphis, Arkansas, like where we stayed on the river. Yeah. Like that's where I was born, and I moved to Texas when I was 4. So pretty much like I lived in Texas pretty much my entire life. So back then, like like I said, my mom would take me to the store like every Friday, and I would get.
Would it be like a grocery store? Did you have like a Toys R Us or a KB Toys or something similar like that?
Yeah, it's pretty much like a Sears, like a department store. Like I know Walmart. When I moved to Texas, it was Walmart like all the time. Like we go to Walmart and I would get my figures there, and then eventually Toys, like my town that I grew up in, Beaumont, Texas, we finally got like a Toys R Us. So that was huge for us. I remember that like opening and stuff. So then it was Toys R Us. And I remember Toys R Us was more expensive than Walmart, and that was always a thing, but they always had what I wanted. So like I had to be really good to go to Toys R
Us. Was there anything like they wouldn't allow you to have?
Simpsons stuff. Because this is why when it came out, the show came out, I would watch it, freaking love The Simpsons. And then my mom asked me to do something, and I told her to eat my shorts. So she was like, you can't watch that show anymore. You disrespected me. And I was like, I didn't even know what I was saying. But I was like, Bart Simpson. So anything Simpsons for a while, like she was like, no, I'm not going to buy you that at all. So, but other than that, I mean, pretty much like whatever I was into, I mean, and then there was video games, late 80s, Nintendo, and like I got a Nintendo for Christmas. First games I got was like ice hockey, Tiger Heli, and then Bayou Billy, and that was my other drug of choice, was the NES.
Was there like a video game that got away, or like a toy you aspired to have but you just didn't find in shelves? Something you knew about but you never came across that you always wanted?
I remember getting Super Mario Brothers 3. That was an ordeal. Like as a kid, like I never had the game. I either borrowed from a friend or would rent it constantly, because for a while, like it was always sold out. It was sold out freaking everywhere, dude. It was nuts. But I don't think I ever got that one. I just borrowed, and then once I beat it a few times, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm good, So toy wise, I don't know if there was anything like I was really like on the hunt for when I was a kid that like the sewer playset, dude. I never had a sewer playset, or a Technodrome. I had the Party Wagon. So yeah, those two for sure.
For me, it was definitely like the Technodrome. Like I remember, I knew it existed, but we would never come across it. I did have the sewer playset.
Nice,
but indeed, there's like always like this one thing and like. I didn't even know any kids that had it, but you would get these little pamphlets inside the toys, and you'd see it. So it'd be like, where is it?
Yes, yeah.
When is it coming out?
Yeah, where's it at? What I would do with my turtles is like Saturday morning cartoons. I would have all my toys out, mostly turtles, waiting for it to come on, because I would play with my toys, watching cartoons. That was my Saturday morning thing. And so for like the turtle like sewer layer, I got a cardboard box and I colored it. Colored it gray, and then made windows and like made it big enough for the Party Wagon to park in and out. And then I would take like yarn and like make like a rope, a tightrope or whatever, for them to like go down and stuff, dude. But those are really good memories, man. Like it was cool.
I have similar memories like that. Just like putting up tiny ropes so your figures could hang on to it. And
dude.
Then my mom would get home and she'd be like, oh, like the whole living room is ruined again.
Yeah.
And then like for me, it was like seeing like the first Toy Story where like he made this Western town of like cardboard boxes. And that's where I was like, hey, I can just make my own play sets and like draw them and stuff. And that's when I started doing that for like my Joes. So very similar experiences like
dude.
that.
I mean, so much fun, man. I might make me a headquarters later on, dude. I'll have a box.
I got a box.
Battle.
I'm gonna make it.
Why not? What's up, Edson?
Here we go. Yeah, lots of people in chat. Definitely, like, let us know where you're tuning in from.
Yeah, we love to know.
Fun to see. I got a spoon somewhere. Oh,
my mom said, okay, and she buried. She buried it. Ed, did you used to bury your toys? Did you used to, like, when you were playing outside?
I did not. I mean, I didn't like consider myself a collector, but I was always like more like pretty guarding of like what I had toy wise.
Smart.
Did you consider yourself like a toy collector, or did you like ever really get into like the thing of like, oh, I'm saving points for a mail away, I want to get all the figures in this line as a kid? Or
so yeah, definitely. Like I had the mentality I should start with. So like I said, that birthday where I went to Toys R Us and bought all the turtles. So what I would do after I would play with them, dude, I would put them on top of my dresser when I'm done, and I would pose them and try to stand them up, which was the hardest freaking thing to do because I didn't have stands or anything like that. And every time I would open the drawer, the turtles would pop. But when I was done playing with them, I would pose my turtles with their weapons and accessories all next to them. I did that for years. And then I remember, I think it was after, like, probably I had got all the figures up until like 91, and then 91 was just like, it was too much, man. It's too much to keep up with. Like, that's when I was like, okay, I can't get them all. I can't catch them all.
Yeah, I think for like turtles, it was definitely like a difficult thing to do. And definitely like when you missed out on like a subline 1 year, it wouldn't stay in production. So
yeah,
they'd just be gone, you know. But yeah,
what was the one figure that, besides the Technodrome, that you had a hard time finding or didn't find?
Turtle wise,
sure.
Like for me, Bebop and Rocksteady. I didn't have those as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah. I eventually got the, the transforming ones, the mutation ones, but it wasn't like, the thing I wanted.
Yeah, you're like, I want the real.
They look more like the cartoon,
the real ones,
but
yeah,
they were like too bulky,
Yeah, they were kind of weird.
Oh man, we have people tuning in from the UK.
Oh, nice.
Northern Ireland.
Top of the day. El Paso, yeah. Hey.
Edson wants to know if you're going to Dallas.
You know what? Myself and Rachel were talking about that last night. We want to go, and I think I got guest passes. I might go. I think she's actually going to be out of town, but I saw the guest lineup, and it's pretty loaded this year. So might go.
Yeah, I guess from Chicago tuning in.
Chicago,
Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania.
Fancy.
Alabama. He used styrofoam and plastic 2-liter bottles to make play sets.
That's smart.
That's pretty cool.
I like that.
Pretty cool. And then Mr. Mice, he's watching from your house.
Mike.
Is he there? Really?
No. I mean, he's down the street, as you know, but he might as well be here.
Oh, and it's Ariel from Mexico.
Ariel,
hey,
what's up, dude?
What's up, man? Oh, man. NEC toy for it. Yeah, man. I just got back out of the US. I think I left for like Spain when it was out. I was in Spain when it was happening.
You're on
looks
vacation.
like Tom got the real Ghostbuster Firehouse.
As of 30 minutes ago. Okay. Congrats.
Nice, man.
Congrats on that one. That's good.
So let's continue the journey over here.
Yeah.
But awesome to see you guys going nuts in the chat over here. Clearwater,
guys.
Canada, everything's going well. Next up, when did like toy collecting start for you, or when did you have a return in like an interest in toys and retro games?
Yeah, so I would say it started, and I mean, this is so like cliche, but like my age group is like when the new Star Wars figures came out in the, mid to late 90s, that kicked it off for me. Like, so I was after, it was, I love Star Wars. Hey, they're making new Star Wars figures. I got to get them all, So, late 90s, started picking up Power of the Force. I remember getting like the price guides and like, oh, look at this Leia. This one's, backwards or whatever. Got to look for this. This one's like mega money, bukus of money. So like we would go to flea markets and stuff, like hunt this stuff down with our price guide. So but that was kind of short lived. I mean, I think that was like maybe a year or so. And then after that, I moved to the Dallas area, went to university, and then I started hunting down my childhood NES games. And then it turned into Super Nintendo. And so this is like early 2000s, all the way up to like 2006, 2007. And so like 2006 and 7, I was at Trader's Village pretty much every weekend. As you know, we've taken you there. And used to like clean up on games because like nobody cared. Unfortunately, at that time, I wasn't looking for action figures. So if I could like turn the wheels of time to go back and do that, totally do that. But as far as like action figures goes, like you guys may or may not know, I helped start a store in the DFW area called Retro Madness. So which we sell vintage toys and retro video games. So seeing those vintage toys come through the store just it lit for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had this, I need it. Oh, I remember that. So my collection, Boston Mike was there the entire ride, started at the top of my closet, just that shelf above where I hang my clothes, and it went from a handful of things to being unattainable. And then this room we're in is our den, and this was actually, we made it a room for Gavin, like a hangout room for my oldest son Gavin, and he never really used it. And then I'm like, sorry buddy, I'm taking over. My collection's getting crazy. And so that was like what, 2013 I went all in. Okay. And picking up retro games here and there too, for sure, because that's the prices definitely spiked at that point for retro games. Like that time period, they were starting to
they started like really going nuts then. Like you hear those stories of like games reaching like a couple $100 and stuff like that. And yeah, like the store you started out with, Retro Madness, is doing its 10-year anniversary soon.
Yeah, good.
Were you like a collector before you started Retro Madness, or was it more that you like saw that there was loads of people with an interest in it?
So yeah, I mean, definitely for retro games, I was still collecting and all the retro games and stuff like that. But toys not so much. But I was like, you know what? The original idea was just to sell retro games and consoles, but I was like, you know what, we gotta add toys in there, like vintage toys. We gotta make a 50-50 mix, call it the 50-50. Have a little bit of both, So there's a variety for people, and then people can trade in their retro games if they are not into it for vintage toys, and vice versa. And so that's exactly how that started. And like I said, when those people would bring in trades and all this vintage goodness coming in, it just sparked memories and like childhood memories, and like, I gotta get this back. And then it would lead into something else, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I have a problem.
Did you have like an example collector or like an inspiration for that? Like, is someone you knew that was already doing it, and you were like, it just clicked, like, hey, I could start my own collection.
Yeah, so
become naturally, or
and that gentleman's in the chat, Mr. Boss and Mike, dude. Like he Yeah, the one and only. I mean, Mike has a lot to do with it, man. Like his collection back then when he moved, because he just moved to Texas from Boston, and I met him because he was a customer at Retro Madness, and he was like, "Dude, you gotta check out my collection." And so the first time I went to his garage and saw it, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, okay, yeah, I'm in. And so like Mike remembers like me displaying all my stuff in my closet, and then it just turned into this craziness.
Yeah. So it was Mike. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was Mike. It was
Sweet.
Mike. That's the one and only, the Boston Tickler.
And then he came over to Retro Madness and he never left.
He never left. He never left. I mean, he left for like a year, I think, and then he was back. He was back. That's what
Emily's like. That's what each time I come up. That's awesome.
Yo.
Like maybe like when you first started out, what was like your focus, your process, and your rules compared to now? How has that kind of changed? Were there some pivotal moments?
There were some definitely pivotal moments, man. Like refocus and refocus and refocus. When I started out, I was doing modern and vintage, right? And I was into Legends, Black Series, all that stuff. And pretty quickly, I was like getting burnt out on all the Legends and Black Series because it was a lot, man. There's a lot coming out, and I kind of already had the characters that I wanted, and so my focus pretty much like maybe year 2 of YouTube, year 3 went pretty much all vintage, besides like some NECA and Super 7 and stuff like that. But so I kind of dropped all that, the Legends and the Black Series, and went heavy on vintage. And probably 2018 like started going hard on turtles, like hard. And that was before the price jump, So I was able to score a lot of really, really, really hard to find figures, like stupid cheap. You probably remember I would get lots off of eBay and like do an unboxing video of like 100 plus turtles, and I probably spent like $120, and I would pull out crazy like crazy rare figures these days. And then I came really close to completing the entire line from 87 to 97 or 98. But then it took over my entire collection. Like it was all on this wall, minus this part right here, because this was Star Wars. And then I had all these detolfs were over here in front of me, and it was all turtles too. And I had turtle crap up here. And I was like, you know what? I really want to collect other lines, but I don't have any space.
Yeah.
And I had a really good time with, like with the collection, but there's other lines that I want to enjoy that I'm learning about, like through your channel too, dude. Like you inspired me to like pick up lines. Mike has, other, Pixel Dan, whoever, like, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like, I want that. So I had to do something about the space. So this past June,
I remember like the first time I came over, like the space had like all these like weird toys I never seen over here, like some Inhumanoids, giants, the My Monster Pet was there, and just like indeed you had some Star Wars stuff over there, but it was all like wow, like this is all like a pretty cool collection of just like different lines. And then like I noticed you like just going really hard on turtles, but now you've like turned it completely around. You can see those videos as well where you put up the details, and now you're like slowly popping finds in there, and it's starting to flourish and becoming something.
And not only that, but it's like I still have totes in my garage of my collection from before when I packed up everything when our floors got redone in June. I still have stuff that I haven't even gone through yet since May. So there's still a lot of stuff I need to get in the detox. I need to figure out what I'm keeping, what I'm selling. And So it's a process, dude. It's a process. I wish I had the time to like dedicate like a week to knock it out, but I don't have that time. So I do it when I can.
Like, how long did it take us to do? Like, I started like 15 years ago. I think you started way before that, right?
I mean, no. I mean, like going hard on toys like 2013. So no.
No, okay.
Yeah. Not 15.
All right. Okay.
But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Grails, When Money Is No Object, TMNT Pitch Turtle.
Yeah, I mean,
each time.
We both got to hold it.
Oliver asks, like, which among the action figures from the 80s and 90s finished toy lines did you heavily focused on? Excess army building? So which ones do we army build? Is that the question? I army build Turley Gang figures.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is like knockoffs that are fairly common in Belgium and Germany because they were made in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
They're 5.5 Turtle He-Man knockoffs. So that makes them really cool.
I can get it quick.
I have tons. They're like everywhere.
You have them right there.
They're like everywhere. Like I had like one shelf that's just them, and now they're like everywhere.
Just have them sprinkled in, like Lemmy Winks.
Yeah, but apart from that, you know, like the regulars, like Foot Soldiers, but then like G.I. Joe wise, I have like this strange thing where I army built like Undertows, like version 3 and Sectors and like the Enemy, but also like Steel Brigades. Although some of those are like doable for it, but it's just weird. Like some of the Joes I just tend to keep
army build,
like Snake Face, but the blue one, like the 90s colored one.
Yeah,
I just keep buying that one. I don't know why. Anything you like army build apart from Beer Smurfs?
No, not really, dude. Because I'm very like focused on like space. You know, I mean, once I went crazy like a couple of times and like had this place super packed, it just got kind of like too stressful. So I'm very focused on like, hey, I want this. I want to collect this only. And then, so it is hard passing up on stuff though. Like I see something and I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, I want it, but I really have to think on it for a while, you know.
I'll literally go to conventions and have like $100 set aside just for Turley Gangs each time. Mm-hmm. And then I'll just buy them till that money's gone.
It's gone.
And then refill it.
That's a good plan, actually.
Yeah. Just stock up on them. Because they're cool.
They're cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah. But so this is how you're approaching it now. You started out with Retro Madness, then you were already collecting. Then something happened that made you move away from Retro Madness, and you started working for GameStop. So more into the gaming side?
Yeah. So I always, since 2006, I worked for GameStop.
Oh, okay.
Corporate. Like I never quit until 2020. Okay. So I was with headquarters for 15 years. Yeah, 15. While having Retro Madness and YouTube and all the other stuff, you know, it was a lot.
I was trying to figure out, like, when did YouTube start for you? Were you still at Retro Madness? Were you?
Yeah, I was. So I started, my first toy vid went out May of 2000. Was it 15 or 16? One of those years. I think 16. May of 16.
Okay.
It was my first video. And it was me and Boston Mike at Toys R Us. And I had it filmed vertical because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So yeah, that's cool. But yeah, so it started then, and then I never stopped. You know, never stopped since May of 2016. Now it's almost May of 2024. That's crazy. So almost 8 years.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Nuts.
What was the reason to like extend your collecting and well, in a way, the reselling part to social media?
So what do you mean? Like how I went from?
Yeah, well, you were already collecting stuff. You were already like selling stuff through Madness and doing all those things. Like, was it just like, was everybody doing it? Was it a natural move to start a YouTube channel, to do Facebook posts, to do Instagram and stuff like that?
I mean, I guess so. I watched Game Chasers. I watched Pixel Dan. I watched Pathian. Yes, Punk. I mean, all the same dudes. AVGN. And I always wanted to, I was interested in doing it because I was like, well, I really like to show my side, like tell my story. And it was always super overwhelming because I don't know about cameras. I don't know about technology too much, so it was super overwhelming. So I never did it. Actually, back in 2006, when we would go to Trader's Village every weekend, me and my buddy, we would film us picking up NES games. And I sat down in front of a computer back in 2006. I was about to create a YouTube channel. I had the camera. I had everything I needed. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I never did it. So that would have been crazy if that would have I would have gotten that off, because I never saw anything like that on YouTube, and YouTube was pretty fresh. I mean, 2005, so it was like a year old. But when I did it in 2016, it was just like watching all these other dudes do it. And it wasn't until I saw this channel, P2 Vision, like he called himself like the Amiibo hunter too. Like he would go and hunt Amiibos, and like my oldest son Gavin was totally into it. He was like, "Dad, you gotta check out this channel. He's freaking hilarious." And and then I got sucked in, and I was like, "Man, I could do this. I could do this. Like, it doesn't have to be, I don't have to review like this He-Man stand or whatever." And then I noticed he was doing it on his phone, and that was like the game changer. I was like, "Oh, I have a phone. I could do that." And then I spent months trying to figure out how to edit on my mobile phone, on my cell phone. And the only videos that were out then were makeup tutorial how-tos. And they were the only people that, like, groups that had like how to edit on your mobile phone. So that's how I learned, through watching makeup tutorials.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of research and development.
I remember when I first came over, like we'd all go to sleep after like a day of shooting, because like that was, for me, that was crazy.
We filmed
flashing back to like the first time I came over for like a Retropalooza. I flew in. Greco was already there. We went over to Retro Madness late night.
It was super late. They stayed open for us, I think.
Yeah. And then the next day we'd hit up garage sales, film over there. Then we'd go over to Dallas fan days.
Yeah.
And we do like another store. Then we do another store. And you have like 4 videos shot in one day.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh, let's just shoot the pickups now. And then like the day after, you had like your video out of one of those things. So I was like, how is he doing this? Like, I just put it on my phone.
I mean, it was like, crap, but it was crap. But like,
it was,
I mean,
it was not crap though.
I could do it.
You had the music and stuff underneath.
Yeah.
You had the flow. It was edited and everything. It was more of like as if you're there. It's less like an edit of a storytelling thing, but still like at the pace you were doing it at, it was like, wow,
it was crazy. Yeah, but now it's like editing, so I stopped editing on my phone like probably like 2 years ago now, almost 2 years ago, and started editing on my laptop, and that was a game changer too. I feel like I've learned a lot since then, and I feel like each video I learned something, get a little better and learn from my mistakes for sure. Now it takes so much freaking longer. It takes so long.
I think it's like making music. You get like, once you've done one thing, like you always kind of want to top it with the next thing and learn new stuff, because you're putting in like these weird effects in some of the edits now. You're working on the whole story arc stuff as well. That to me, like I remember like the days when I would come home from a convention, do like an hour or two of editing, and it would be out. Wouldn't be like, you know, unless like what you captured was magical, it wouldn't be like decent. But you know, like now I just can't do it. I don't know how. Like something's holding me back from just going for it and being like, okay, let's just edit 2 hours, put it out, and see what happens.
It's hard, man. Like sometimes, like I don't know if it happens to you, but like for me, like I'll be editing and then I'm just looking at the same damn clip over and over, and I'm like, I don't know like where to go with this. So like I have to put it down for a little bit, and then usually when I come back, like something will spark, or I take something out that doesn't really make sense. So I think that's like, for me, like that's a big challenge for me, is like when I'm editing, if I come to like a crossroads of like, I don't know where to go from here, I have to put it down, dude. I have to put it down, because it'll be trash if I keep going.
I just feel like the whole thing about like you were saying, like sometimes you need a couple days before you're like happy with what you've done. You kind of want to get back into it when you're stuck somewhere. Same for me. But like Christopher says, like you're putting out killer content, so that's awesome.
Thank you, Mac. Thank you, buddy.
There we go. What was I gonna ask next? So what's like your strategy to content nowadays?
So I found the best thing, besides like, I mean, we tried to do it while shooting Attic Invaders, but like, let's say, but that was really hard because we had like 7 of us, and it was just like go.
Yeah.
So like, let's say we go to a toy show and like Dave is filming or whatever. Like we try to at all. We try to do the intro.
What's wrong?
Ballard. So what we try to do is like we film the intro inside the show. We get as much footage as possible, and we try to speak onto like, oh, I just picked this up at this booth. This is like a 1986 Motu stand, like made by Mattel, you know, and like give a little story and like just keep it moving. And then in the intro at the show, and then as we're going, like show or pickups, talk about it. Editing that takes me like no time at all. It's like 2 hours, because I don't have to like set up my gear, talk about it. Everything is done. All the, you know, talking points, it's all done. So I just chop, transition, music, done. So like I love that. I love doing it like that. I love that streamlined process, because it's just so much easier, so much faster to edit. But I do enjoy, like, my favorite things to edit is Attic Invaders. And then when all the boys are together, because there's so much going on, it's just fun. And then like I can do callbacks and stuff like that. So it takes longer, but I enjoy it. You know, I love it because we had a great time, a lot of material to work with. So if I'm cracking myself up over us, I would hope everybody else is as well, you know. So
yeah.
And I'm going to actually put out the
you're working
intro.
on like on a universe more than it's
yeah.
You know,
because you know, and that's another thing too, is like I kind of got bored with what I was doing, and I just wanted to kind of like introduce some new characters, and like hopefully people don't think I'm crazy, you know, with like Ace and Yark and Lemmy Winks and which y'all see in the next video. Actually, I'm gonna post up the
loaded the Ace videos and the Lemmiwinks videos. I was like, has he lost it? Has he gone off the
dude?
grid?
I was the first time those characters were introduced. I was like, Mike, is this? Please stop me. Rachel, please stop me. Dave, please stop me. Is this terrible? Please tell me. And they were laughing their ass off. So I was like, okay, I gotta go all in. Freaking jazz, man. Yeah, freaking jazz. So yeah, I mean, stuff like that kind of like brings me back in, and I personally think when I'm like I'm excited about something that comes through in my storytelling and my editing as well, because if I'm really I'm like, man, I'm into it. I love this. Like it shows through in the videos. I think so. It helps for sure.
Whenever you have like a plan of filming, I always have like I plan stuff and I structure, and I have my little notebook, as you probably know.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Like same thing yesterday, we went over to Pixel Days with Maddie and Renzo, and we were gonna do like the 2 mic thing, walk around for like 2 hours. Didn't happen. It was just like, oh, everybody's just gone. Okay, I'll just put like 1 mic on and see where they're going, with it. And then like obviously like when it was like, okay, so can we do like the thing we intended to do like now? Then they started blasting like music at the convention.
Yeah, dude.
So it's like, well, I can't. You can't shoot interactions then.
Can't,
because it's like, okay, we're getting in early, but nobody's freaking set up, so we don't even see everything that's there. Sure, we get the occasional deal because we're there early, but try to film something that has interaction and doesn't like a crowd that's like just insane and there's music everywhere, and it's like you can't really film decent in that way. So like as you were saying, like, oh, when we do stuff with Dave and we do our intro, we do our thing, so everything's filmed, so you have like a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
How often does it actually come through that it happens, or are there
gosh, so it's probably like 50-50, honestly. Because when Retro Rick, when he came and sat up Game Point at Back Alley Toys, like we were watching him and how he was filming and stuff, and it was just like that, and we're like, man, that's so smart, that's so freaking smart, like we should start trying to do that. So but it's really hard because sometimes you get off point, or like somebody will come up and talk to you, or like somebody gets a phone call or like something like that, we get interrupted. So it's like 50-50, but usually we try to pull it in. But it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard to keep it on track. Depends if we have true. Depends if we got our kids with us.
By kids we mean Greco.
And Mike. But yeah, I mean, like I really like that format. Why is Turtle Chris? Why is he calling me? He should be in here. Hold on, let's see what he says. Let's see.
Maybe it's Yark.
Turtle Chris, what's going on?
Hey man, what's up?
Hey, I'm live on Ed's YouTube channel right now.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, you should join.
Oh yeah, I'll go in there. I was actually going to ask about the coming to drop those off, but yeah, let me get off here.
Yeah, I'm live. I'll call you when I'm done.
All right, cool, dude. I'll join in there.
Okay.
Later.
All right, bye.
Awesome. Yeah. It was super fun getting to hang with him the whole week as well.
Oh, dude. I think he stole it. He stole the whole show. Like, once this movie comes out that we're doing, you guys are gonna be Turtle Chris is gonna be fan favorite, 100%.
Yeah, because like right now, like our videos are coming out, but we actually filmed like like, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but we basically filmed like a reality show.
Yeah.
During
like
the thing. And it's not about us going into toy stores and finding stuff. It's about us traveling through the USA in an RV and getting challenges to do. And there's prizes and stuff, and
like crazy prizes.
Yeah, crazy prizes. The stuff we did like hurt. So
yeah.
Yeah, it was just insanity. Once we have like a better indication on when this stuff is going to come out, you'll definitely see it on our channels, and we'll promote it. But we shot so much good stuff for this documentary style thing. So
Dave was actually working on it this morning, man.
Okay.
So yeah, and then we're gonna do some more filming this week for it, because there's some things we gotta polish up. But yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be it was so much fun, dude. It was so much fun.
A couple things I still wanted to get in. I think like the first time we met was, I want to say like in like the comment section for like Game Chasers.
Yeah.
And then I started watching your channel, you started watching my channel, and at the time I was like always trying to get like other YouTubers on to like comment on stuff in my videos and have them in like as a collaboration thing. And then we started doing that with toys, because at that time you were already like way more into toys. I just went to a Comic-Con, and it was just like the perfect match. And from that, I was like, yeah, I'm like really into Game Chasers and stuff. And you said like, oh, you should come over to Retropalooza.
Yeah.
And I've basically been coming over ever since to your house. So thanks for that,
dude.
Man.
Yeah, of course, man. Like when you and Greco come, like now it's like Rachel's like, Uncle Greco and Uncle Ed's coming. Like, kids, so get ready. You're like the two uncles coming over. Like, it's so funny. Like, my family loves you guys, so it's a pleasure.
What was it like back then? Because like you were also trying to find collab stuff, growing your channel at that point.
Yeah,
How
dude.
was it like?
It was hard
because we were watching, things either that were already taking off or that had already taken off, like Game Chasers and things like that, and Pixel Game Squad was back on the map. But how is it like grinding to get like like your own audience?
It was really hard, man. It was tough, man. And I think so. Here's the one thing. Like, one of the mistakes I made, among many in YouTube, is like when I started and I put out my first video, I remember that like I messaged Jay, or I text Jay because from the Game Chasers, because I had his number. I was like, yo, I'm a YouTuber now. Like, we can hang out, we can be buddies, buddy, And like, I also remember like messaging Pixel Dan, like send him a video, and I'm like, hey, check out my video. And just like talking to all these people that I looked up to, be like, hey, check out my stuff. And then I think once I did not get any responses back, like I was like, okay, like I got to, really just figure this out on my own and just do me. And everything eventually, like years later, like came together. I met you, and Greco, and then everybody else, Rube and Dave, and of course Mike and TC, and it just happened naturally. Honestly, it wasn't like, at the beginning I was trying hard to be like, hey, check my stuff out, but I was going to like the bigger dudes, that was around, and I
like fairly like early on you already met up with Cincy, met up with
Cincy and Josh and
like that,
all
and
that,
kind of grew at the same pace with them. So like that's something you always had, like being able to connect fairly quickly and just have like a good rapport with everybody, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not a jerk, I mean, if you're cool, man, if you're cool, like, like it can happen, And one of the things I wanted to do too is like, you know, just like you yourself, like you're into like the retro game stuff back then, and then also the toys, and I always wanted to like converge the two, you know, like, hey, you guys over here, like you're doing this toy content, this is the same kind of stuff over here in the retro world, like let's combine the two universes and make a megaverse, you know. And it's really cool because I kind of feel like in a way like we've done that, you know, like we've, you know, I mean, we filmed with the Game Chasers, you know, a month ago, and just along the way, our journey, like we've, you know, came across people that we looked up to that we're now friends with, and we've got to do that. It's just, it still blows my mind. Still freaking blows my mind, man. You know, and it's something just super cool. Like I never would have thought of when I started, like, hey, you know, this is all going to happen. I'll be like, you're crazy.
To me, it was, I think it's in the last video I uploaded where we're like hanging out at the Mississippi River on that like,
treehouse.
The treehouse. And then the morning after we saw like, you shouldn't go on there.
Yeah.
Except on your own risk. And to me, like, and it hit me like this is a thing, like we're actually probably going to be doing this for like another decade, you know? Like, meeting up and just, you know.
Till the wheels fall off, baby.
Yeah. The cool thing about it too is like it's just like a part of, you know, the toy community. Like our videos, like they wouldn't happen without you guys watching, without you guys reaching out, 100%. Educating us and stuff like that, you know.
Because we definitely wouldn't spend hours upon hours a week editing these videos if nobody was watching them. I guarantee it.
But on the other hand, there's like so many cool stories out there as well.
We've met so many cool people, and just like, man, the guy that had all the prototype stuff, I forget his name.
Matt,
freaking Matt. I mean, that was crazy. Like, never would have thought like we would be like holding those pieces, you know. It's insane.
Like the last segment of this is like toy reselling, because like at a certain time in YouTube it was like, oh, you shouldn't be a reseller.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah,
but like you already had a shop back then when you started. How did like toy reselling come about for you, and what is it doing now? You know, like perhaps let's just start with the beginning and then see where it takes you.
Where it goes, man. Yeah. So with Retro Madness is like, okay, that was like the first step, right? Have a brick and mortar location, sold retro games, sold vintage toys, and like I said, I was still working a full-time job, you know, 50 hours a week. And then going to retro, like on the days that I needed to be there, when I didn't need to be there, like whatever the case was. And I did that for 4 to 5 years. And it was just like, this is too much. It's just way too much with what I had going. So I had to like let one of them go. And I was like, well, I love, you know, the reselling side, you know, is what I want to do eventually, but having a brick and mortar being there all that time, it didn't make sense. And so, you know, myself and Rachel were like, hey, let's revisit this in a few years, see where we're at, and then we'll see what's up. So then 2020 came, and then
the cool thing about it back then, as you had, you know, the connection to having a store that would get like new stuff. It also allowed you to go to Toy Fair and film over there.
Yeah, Toy Fair. Yeah.
Because those videos, like, they were out as soon as the vendor floor, the floor opened. You know, like, how did that come about for you?
So that's the one thing too. Is like, you know, as you know, like Toy Fair is once a year, big world event that everybody in the toy game is at, right? Trying to sell their wares. And so like when I first got the email, like, hey, y'all should come to Toy Fair. I was like, heck yeah. And like I remember back in the day, like watching Pixel Dan at Toy Fair, and like me and my older son Gavin, we used to always watch those videos because we were like, oh, what's coming out? That's so cool. Kind of like what was that video game? the video game E3, kind of like that, you know, but with toys. And so like we would dig that. So I was like, you know what, like let's go. And so the first year, myself, Boss and Mike and his wife went, and I filmed, but I did not know what I was doing because that was like still like year one of YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I put out what I could, but I learned a lot that year. And then when I went back next year, I was like, well, there's crappy connection in the convention center, and it's like, you know, $30 to buy the freaking internet, and it still sucks. So I brought like a router with me. So I would literally like film inside of like NECA or Super 7.
Oh, wow.
And then I would just instant upload, dude. So like back then, you know, my video was out first, so it got a lot of views. I mean, it wasn't polished whatsoever, but it was still something, right? It was still something.
Yeah.
So I would do that every year, and then I think the last one I went to was 2020 actually. It was right before all the crud happened, and I started noticing the years following up to that last one I went to. It's like all the toy companies they were doing it the week of, like everything. They would release their own like, you know, little Easter eggs and stuff. So it was kind of like, I didn't have a store. It was fun doing it, but like it's kind of like, okay, like I did that for like 6 years, so I'm good, you know. So it was really cool. And then 2020 happens, you know, we're in this stuff, and then my wife's like, hey, if you want to go for it and like do your online, you know, toy store, you know, if you want to do that, like do it. I was like, for real? She was like, yeah, do it. So I risked it for the biscuit, man. Did it, and it is what, 2024 now. So it started off really freaking good, obviously, like 2020, 2021, 2022, and then like last year, the market just started, you know, declining, and then like I would order new stuff, new product, new Super 7s from like my distributor, and then I would get it not on time, and by the time I got it, you know, I'm paying like $53 per piece with shipping, and they're on Amazon for like $25. Yeah. So like I lost so much money last year.
Yeah.
Especially with Super 7. With Super 7. But
yeah,
I know
you know the crazy thing about like the TMNT Super 7s in Europe.
What's up?
So in the UK, one store was like just liquidating them for like, I think like, I want to say like 20 quid.
Yeah.
For like over here, they're like 60 to 80 euros. And they were just selling them for like $15.
Yeah, that's how,
something like that. And because, well, like there was interest, so like chain stores imported them, bought them in bulk, and it didn't move there because people were already used to just getting it off of like stores like you or Big Bad Toy Store, getting it imported, already taking into calculation, well, if I buy it there, it's the same thing, you know. It costs the same. So yeah, but you're still doing Badger Fist.
Yeah, I'm still doing Badger Fist. I was in a warehouse. So I got the warehouse in 2021, beginning of 21. And actually this past November, a company from California like bought our entire like property, right? And so I get an email late November, hey, we sold the land, we sold everything to, you know, these owners, they'll be reaching out to you, you know, coming up. And so I think it was like 2 days before like Christmas, I get a call from like their real estate agent that's handling the property, and he was like, yo, by the way, like this is who we are, and we're jacking up the rent. So it went from like one number, it basically tripled the rent. And I was like, you know, I can't do that. I can't do that. So we moved out in January. So right now I'm working out of here and out of my garage, and we have a lot of stuff at my buddy Dean's house, which has been, you know, helping out. We got some stuff over at Back Alley. So now I'm just like, okay, what's the next step? And, you know, we'll see what that next step is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. And then like, So yeah, Maddie found you an our beer smurf.
Dude, thank
you.
A
European beer smurf.
Like a European?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Maddie.
Yeah. He's finally back from Pixel Dance. It's like a 2-day convention. I couldn't take.
So he went today too?
Yeah, he was set up. I was just going there to film and.
Cool.
But the crowd was insane. They're gonna move it to like a bigger convention center next year because I think like they had prospected 8,000 people would show up. I think it'll do them good to go into a little bit of a bigger thing, to have just a little bit more room.
Yeah.
But place was packed. It was a fun experience.
Jeez.
Just a lot of people. So
yeah,
it's crazy. A good thing, but
it's a good thing. Yeah. But room is good too. Room is good too.
The other thing, you also got into it with like Whatnot, which was like this completely new thing during the same time, during COVID, as you were setting up Badger Fist collectibles online. How was that like getting into that?
It was, dude. I was nervous about it, man. They reached out, and this was end of 21, like November 21. And they reached out and they were like, hey, like, we like your channel, whatever, like, we would like to sponsor, we would like to sponsor you. And so I did that for the month of November. And then my rep at the time, she was like, hey, we really like you. Like, we want to bring you on. We want to contract you. So I was like, okay, cool, let's do it.
That's good.
And let's go. So so I did that, and I sell a lot on the Whatnot. I do 2 to 3 shows a week. A lot of it just, people either like they have their own ways of selling stuff. Like, I only like to sell at shows. I only like to sell on Facebook. I only like to sell on eBay or Mercari or whatever the case is. But I have grown to really, really love Whatnot because of the community there. Like, I met so many people, and that's one thing. When I started, like, I wasn't thinking about it like that way at all, right? I was just like, I'm just going, and sell stuff, I'm going to do that. But I've met some amazing people on Whatnot, and it's like YouTube, like going live on YouTube, but selling toys and talking toys and having a good time. So it's really grown on me, man, honestly. So yeah, it's just like, for selling toys right now, it's just my choice, like that's what I like. I like selling on there. It's a good community, and those are a bunch of good dudes and a bunch of sellers on there. So we actually have our brand new Narc stickers, or Attic Invader gross out stickers that are available right now in my Whatnot store. Let me drop that linky. I think that's it. It failed to post.
Sometimes you meet people like me, and then your life is ruined.
Oh, Mac attack, dude. Oh, Mackie.
Need to get on Whatnot soon. Sweet. I've been on there once.
Post it.
What?
Let me see if I can get that link. It'll take me 2 seconds. But yeah, we got new Attic Invader gross out
drag it out here. It's the Whatnot link.
Here, I got it.
I got it too. There we go.
You got it. Cool.
Should be in there now.
That's it.
There we go. That should be
and the stickers look like this. They are sick. Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
These are the stickers. They're pretty big. Sorry about the glare. But our boy Mac Attack did these.
Thanks to Mac, right? He created those.
We created these.
Wow.
And this was a gift from Mac, and we appreciate that, because for whatever reason, he loves us. I don't know. But also, we have shirts too, and Ed, I'm going to if you can put that link in there too. It's
the Teespring one. Yeah, sure.
Teespring one, and they're available now. Narc on Whatnot is where the deals live.
Here we
Yeah, here's a link for the.
These are pretty sweet.
Yeah. They're sick, man. Ed's gonna have them up on his Teespring too. So they'll be available there. But if you want one right now, they're right there in that link. But yeah, so very cool.
A toy hunt play set. I don't think anybody has ever done that. That would be freaking epic though. For like, yeah.
What would it be? Would it be just like your collector room, or would it be like what would you have in it?
I think you should like switch it around and be like on one side like your collector room, then you'd have like a toy store, then you'd have like, I don't know, like a curbside and like a flea market side
RV.
RV, a toy hunting RV.
That'd be sick. That'd be a sick one, dude. We pimp it out. Somebody should do that.
That's awesome. Here's Lara.
Hey, Lara. What's up, Lara?
Yeah, dude. Thanks so much for coming on today.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. It feels weird without freaking Greggy, but
I know, like, but I'm gonna get Grego on later and like really delve into the character.
The character. Oh my gosh, dude, I can't wait for that, dude. Cannot wait. Wow.
So that's probably going to be one of the next ones. I do have some more people in mind to bring on to one of these. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if I should try to upload this stuff on Spotify. Would you like listen to this stuff anywhere else or not?
I would, dude. I do. Because I can't watch YouTube in the car, so usually I'll have like Pixel Plus like playing in the background when I'm driving. So you should definitely do that. You should definitely
look into it.
You should.
Another thing we're looking into, because usually I will fly over to the US, but we're trying to get this guy and Greco over to Europe. We're gonna do like full Euro trip, so Scotty doesn't know and everything.
That whole thing.
We're gonna do it. Maddie's gonna come along. He's gonna be the muscles.
I can't wait to hang out with Maddie
on this thing. So, hopefully we'll get to do that. But yeah, just stay tuned. Stay subscribed to all the channels.
One grill a week later this week coming out.
You guys will find out. So more videos coming out this week. And anything else you want to say, Craigie?
Okay, Michael, what's up, man? What's up? Sorry. Boston Mike says something about he really wants to be answered. He had a question. Are you going to have pens? Says Michael. We might have pens. We might do that, dude. Pens? Like pens for the Madball stuff. Oh, I think Mike's question was like, hey, what did you think about you met Craig's dad or something? Oh yeah, we did meet. Hey, it was cool. It's cool. It's just my dad. It's my dad.
Yeah. It's his dad, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for
we didn't get to hang out too long over there, but we did meet a lady that worked there who is like the sister of like a wrestler, and Mike went completely nuts.
Yeah, we're gonna save that for the movie. But that crazy shit happened that was not expected once again. So yeah. Very cool stuff.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, V2. Yeah. V2.
Okay, man. Well, that's going to be it for now. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for being awesome. And have an awesome week this week.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Baltard.
And the stream, Baltard. Where is it? Here he is.
And dead.